Doctors often recommend taking a walk every evening or walking at least 10 000 pas par jour pour maintenir la forme et combattre la sarcopénie, la perte musculaire progressive loss of muscle mass associated with aging. But in reality, these efforts are not enough to build muscle if you do not practice two essential exercises that I will tell you about. As we age, daily walking loses its effectiveness, especially when it comes to developing or maintaining muscle mass. That is why, despite all your efforts, walking alone does not yield the expected results. On social media, many pseudo-nutritionists advise eating certain foods to build muscle. But without appropriate exercises, this approach neither stops sarcopenia nor strengthens your body. And this is where many seniors make a mistake. Either they stick to walking or they start lifting weights that are too heavy. These two strategies can be risky because they increase the risk of serious injury, which can lead to a long hospital stay or even loss of independence. In this video, I will therefore present two simple exercises to do at home, without equipment, without elastic bands, or sports gear. These exercises are very powerful for strengthening muscles, and EMG, electromyographic studies, show that they can activate up to 90% of muscle fibers during effort. I will start with the second most effective exercise, because it is the easiest to perform and only requires a wall, Then I will reveal the most powerful of all, the one that has helped thousands of my patients regain strength and mobility. And as a bonus, I will explain 3 exercises to absolutely avoid, especially if you are looking to rebuild muscle and reverse age-related muscle loss. So, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. Exercise number 1. Wall push-ups. Let's talk about wall push-ups. When you walk, you mobilize about 200 muscles, but only at 20 to 30% of their capacity. There is neither resistance nor a real challenge for your muscles. On the other hand, wall push-ups engage your pectorals, shoulders, triceps, and core muscles at 60 to 70% of their capacity, 3 times more than walking. For seniors who want to fight against sarcopenia, this difference is crucial. Your muscles do not develop with gentle movements, but when they are stimulated by resistance that forces them to adapt and strengthen. When you do wall push-ups, you create microscopic muscle tears. This is normal and beneficial. During recovery, these fibers repair, thicken, and become stronger. This is how muscle develops at any age, even at 90 years old. But here is what most seniors ignore. Wall push-ups trigger a process called mechanotransduction. This is when your muscle cells sense the mechanical stress of exercise and send a signal to your DNA to produce more proteins and muscle fibers. In other words, these push-ups not only strengthen your muscles, they prompt your body to create new ones. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity followed 150 adults aged 65 to 85 over 12 weeks. Those who practiced wall push-ups 3 times a week observed an average increase of 31% in their upper body strength and a gain of 1 kilogram of lean muscle mass. The researchers were stunned. They observed a complete reversal of age-related muscle decline. Interestingly, this practice has existed for centuries. Among the Hunza, a people from northern China known for their longevity, it is said that farmers discovered wall push-ups by chance. By resting against the stone walls of their agricultural terraces, they began pushing against them, and noticed that this movement made them stronger. Since then, this exercise has been passed down from generation to generation, and the elderly Hunza, even at 80 or 90 years old, maintain strength and vitality thanks to this morning habit. Here's how to properly perform this exercise. 1. Stand facing a wall, about arm's length away. 2. Place your palms at shoulder height, fingers pointing upward. 3. Keep your feet shoulder width apart and your body straight from head to heels. 4. Slowly bend your elbows to bring your nose close to the wall without arching your back or letting your hips drop. 5. Push against the wall, controlling the movement until your arms are fully extended. And there you have it, a complete repetition. During the exercise, inhale as you move toward the wall and exhale as you push back to the starting position. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions. If it's too easy, step back slightly to increase the difficulty. If it's too hard, move closer to the wall. Do 3 sets with 1 minute of rest between each. For best results, practice this exercise 3 times a week, for example on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This gives your muscles 48 hours to recover and strengthen between sessions. You should feel your muscles working, maybe even a slight burning sensation. It's a sign that the exercise is working effectively. But be careful. Some training habits, often done unconsciously, can be dangerous, especially when combined with wall push-ups. I will talk to you more about this later in this video. However, if you rely solely on wall push-ups to develop your muscles, I prefer to warn you, that will not be enough. Wall push-ups mainly strengthen the upper body, arms, shoulders, chest, but do not stimulate the legs. And leg muscles are absolutely essential with age. They are the ones that carry you, stabilize you, and prevent falls. Without strong legs, the risks of falls and accidents increase and can sometimes lead to a loss of independence. That's why it is crucial to also practice the second exercise, just as simple but incredibly effective, chair squats. Exercise number 2, chair squats. Let's talk about chair squats, or squats with a chair. Yes, walking makes your legs move, but this movement remains limited. Your muscles simply support your weight vertically with minimal effort. Your quadriceps, the muscles at the front of the thighs, work at only about 25% of their capacity, and your glutes, the largest muscles in the body, are barely engaged. Chair squats completely change the game. They activate your quadriceps at 75%, your glutes at 80%, and also engage your hamstrings and calves. In other words, this exercise targets all the muscles of the lower body, those that determine whether you can get up from a chair, climb stairs, or live independently. For seniors, leg strength is much more than mobility. It is dignity, independence, and security. It is the difference between getting up alone or having to ask for help, between staying active or risking a fall. What few people know is that chair squats stimulate the natural production of growth hormones and testosterone, even at an advanced age. These hormones, in youth, build muscle, and this exercise reactivates that process. Because it mobilizes large muscle groups, the body responds by releasing a flow of anabolic hormones, essential for rebuilding and strengthening muscle fibers. A study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health followed 200 adults aged 70 to 92 who practiced chair squats 4 times a week for 16 weeks. The results were spectacular. Plus 3.7 pounds, about 1.7 kilograms, of lean muscle in the legs. Plus 43% improvement in the time needed to go from sitting to standing. Plus 38% balance, and a halving of the risk of falling. The principal researcher, Dr. Chen Wei, said he was stunned. Several participants who used a walker at the beginning of the study were able to walk without assistance after only 10 weeks. Interestingly, this practice also has ancient roots. In the village of Bama, in southern China, a region famous for the longevity of its inhabitants, a legend tells that several centuries ago, a flood forced villagers to constantly go up and down on platforms to escape rising waters. After several days, they realized that their legs were stronger and that their chronic knee pain had disappeared. Since then, this exercise, which they call platform breathing, has become a daily routine. Even today, we see 90 or 95-year-olds standing up and squatting in their gardens with ease, their legs as solid as bamboo. Here is how to correctly perform a squat with a chair. 1. Choose a stable and sturdy chair that does not slip. 2. Position yourself directly in front, feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly outward. 3. Extend your arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height to maintain balance. 4. Inhale. Slowly bend your knees and lower yourself until you brush the chair without fully sitting down. 5. Exhale. Push through your heels to straighten up. And there you have it, a successful repetition. Imagine you are about to sit down, but in slow motion. Slightly move your hips back as if you want to touch the chair behind you. Let your knees bend naturally while ensuring they stay aligned with your toes, never turning inward. Slowly descend until your buttocks barely touch the chair, a light contact without sitting fully down. Pause briefly for half a second, then push off the ground with your heels to rise back up. At the top of the movement, contract your glutes. Keep your chest well open, your gaze straight ahead, and distribute your weight across your heels and the middle of your feet, never on your toes. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions, and if you really need to sit down between 2 repetitions, that's okay. Progress at your own pace. Perform 3 sets with 90 seconds of rest between each. For optimal results, practice this exercise 4 times a week, for example on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This higher frequency than wall push-ups is intentional. Your leg muscles recover faster and can be engaged more often. But be careful. Even these excellent exercises will not be enough if you continue to practice certain bad habits, because there are dangerous exercises for seniors, which not only negate your progress, but can also cause serious injuries. And unfortunately, many of you do them unknowingly. After years of practice with thousands of patients, analysis of numerous studies, and consultation with muscle longevity experts, I have identified the 3 most risky exercises for seniors, those that must be absolutely avoided. Exercise number 1 to avoid. Classic abs exercises, sit-ups and crunches. You see them everywhere, in gyms, on social networks, or recommended in flat belly programs. A 2023 survey even revealed that 67% of fitness coaches advise seniors to do them to strengthen the abdominal belt or burn visceral fat. But here is the truth. Yes, these exercises work your abs. But every time you bend your spine forward, you exert strong pressure on your vertebrae. And at an advanced age, this is a foreseen disaster. Repeated flexions compress the lower back, strain the neck, and bring almost no functional benefit in daily life. And when a back or neck injury occurs, it is often the end of all physical activity for several weeks. According to data from the Global Burden of Disease study, about 23% of seniors performing unsupervised floor exercises like sit-ups suffer from serious dorsal or cervical injuries, preventing them from training for at least 6 weeks. The most common mistake? Believing that more is better. Some do 50 to 100 per day, convinced that volume brings results. But their spine, less flexible and less cushioned than at 20 years old, can no longer support these repeated compressions. Each repetition slightly damages the spinal discs. Let's take the example of Michaela, 73 years old. She had been doing 40 sit-ups every morning for 8 months, on her doctor's advice. Her stomach hadn't changed, but she ended up with severe lower back pain radiating into her leg. Some mornings, she couldn't even get up without help. I immediately told her to stop the sit-ups. Then we introduced trunk exercises without compressing the spine. In 3 weeks, her pain decreased. In 2 months, she had regained all her mobility and gained muscle strength. Exercise number 2 to avoid. Overhead military press behind the head, a classic in gyms for decades. The problem? This movement forces the shoulders into an extreme rotation, outside their natural axis. It is a dangerous and painful position, especially for joints that have already undergone years of wear. In seniors, the rotator cuff tendons are often thinner and more fragile. Forcing them into this position can lead to inflammations, tears, or even a near-total loss of mobility. An international orthopedic study shows that 31% of seniors practicing this movement develop chronic shoulder pain or tendon injuries within a year. Many end up having to stop all upper body training for several months, or even undergo surgery. The story of Robert, 68 years old, is a perfect example. His coach had him do this movement with 7-kilogram dumbbells, 3 times a week. After a few weeks, he felt discomfort, but his trainer told him it was normal. 6 months later, he could no longer lift his right arm. Result, torn tendon, 3 months of total rest, then 8 months of rehabilitation. Today, at 71 years old, he has finally regained his former strength. But he lost 2 years of progress because of a single bad exercise. Exercise to avoid. Leg extensions on the machine. They seem harmless. You sit down, extend your legs against a weight, and feel your quadriceps burning. But this movement creates significant shear force on the knees, especially when they are already weakened by age or osteoarthritis. It is an illusion of safety. It feels like you are strengthening the legs, but in reality, you are gradually damaging the knee joint. And once the knees are damaged, it becomes impossible to continue other beneficial exercises like squats, walking, or stair climbing. In summary, wall push-ups and chair squats are your best allies for building muscle and maintaining your independence. But sit-ups, behind-the-head presses, and leg extensions on the machine are your worst enemies. These not only slow down your progress, they can keep you away from physical activity for months. Protect your joints, train smartly, and remember, the right exercise at the right time is the key to aging strong and healthy. The truth about bodybuilding after 60, did you know? The leg extension machine was never designed for general training. Originally, it was used solely for medical rehabilitation under supervision for specific knee injuries. When used with heavy weights or many repetitions, it can cause dangerous shear forces on aging knees. Yet, few coaches or gyms talk about it. If you really want to strengthen your muscles without risking injury, avoid these 3 exercises. 1. Sit-ups and crunches, dangerous for the spine and ineffective. 2. Behind-the-neck press, a common cause of rotator cuff injuries. 3. Leg extensions, too aggressive for fragile knees. So tell me, do you practice any of these exercises? And are you going to try the 2 safe movements I showed you earlier, wall push-ups and chair squats, to rebuild your strength? The secret to muscle strengthening in seniors. Here's the truth. Exercise alone is not enough. Building muscle depends 80% on what you eat and only 20% on your workouts. You can do perfect wall push-ups and squats every day, but if your diet lacks proteins, your muscles will neither repair nor grow. That's why I created a comprehensive nutritional program specifically designed for seniors who want to fight sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It contains more than 93 protein-rich recipes, simple, tasty, and quick to prepare for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Each recipe provides the exact nutrients your body needs to rebuild and strengthen your muscles. Click on the link in the pinned comment or in the description to access it now. And most importantly, don't miss the next video. Tomorrow, I will post an essential video. The #1 supplement that 90% of seniors do not take, which prevents their muscles from developing. Even with good nutrition and exercise, this information could change your progress. But beware, only my subscribers will be notified as soon as it is released. Subscribe now, activate the notification bell, and get ready to transform your health and strength. In the meantime, practice the 2 exercises, eat smartly, and watch your vitality return day after day. See you tomorrow. Chantikir R. Health.